the next classes. Today we can discuss about traditional procedural programming. Traditional procedural programming language means that you may have some traditions. What type of traditions you have? You may have some traditional procedural programming. Most of the time we can talk for the core points here. In traditional procedural programming, data, functions, you may have data, you may have functions. When we can define two things, the first is data, the second is functions. These data and functions have subroutines and procedures. Subroutines, what type of subroutines? እንዴት ያለ የምንከታተልበት ways and procedures. Ordered ordered means procedures. Procedure ማለት አካሄድ. So nowadays procedures are kept separate from data as they process. Yes, yeah. There is a key separate from the data they process means that most of the time we can call it this is data and functions. It has the following significant effect on the way a procedure handles. There is some significant effect. This significant effect on the way the program handles. On the way the program handles means that you may have discussed 2 points. The 2 points are: the first is the programmer must ensure that data is initialized with suitable values. How you are initialized? ዳታው መወከል ማለት ነው። ዳታው ኢኒሻላይዝድ ይሆናል with suitable values before use or before that suitable data are passed to the function when it is called. ከመጠራቱ በፊት ወይም ደግሞ ኮድ አስገብተን ዳታው ከመጠራቱ በፊት ዳታው መወከል አለበት የሚለውን ነው አንደኛው ክራይቴሪያ የሚቀመጠው። ይሄ ሲግኒፊካንት ወሳኝ የምንለው የፕሮግራሚንግ ሃንድልስ ዳታ የምናደርገው ፕሮግራም ስንጽፍ ሃንድልስ የምናደርጋቸው ዳታዎች መረጃዎች እንዴት ነው የሚያዙ የሚለው ነገር ነው። the second if the data representation is changed ከሆነ the second ሁለተኛው ሲቹዌሽን ወይም ደግሞ significant effect የሚባለው ዳታ representation changed ካደረገ ከተቀየረ if the record is extend ካደረገ the corresponding function must also be modified. Yes, if the record is extend you may have extended ብዙ ከጨመራችሁ ደግሞ corresponding ወይም ተያይዘው ሊመጡ የሚችሉ ፋንክሽኖች ምን መሆን አላቸው? must be what modified መቀየር አለባቸው። this is the two options that you are using when you are using this traditional procedural programming. What is objects? We can define objects in short way and in precise way. The first in our program or programming digest ways, object means object-oriented programming shifts focus of attention to the object. That is aspect on which the program is centered, on which the problem is centered. You may have two aspects. What type of aspects? The first aspect on which the problem is centered. Problem is centered means you may have some program designed to maintain bank accounts. To maintain, let's say this is an instance or an example, you have designed a program to maintain bank accounts, good work with data such as balance, credit limits, or transfers, or interest calculations, and so on. This is one bank information data. So you this based on this bank information data, how you design some program, let's say that you may have an object names such as based on the data, balance is one data, the credit limit or the other data, transfers the other data, interest the other data, interest calculation we said this one. An object representing account in a program will have properties. You may have this object or a back object representing an account. This is an account is an object. We can call it an object. One object, it has some properties. So how you are program? This program is depend on the properties. Will have properties and capacities that are important for account management. Object-oriented programming, objects most of the times combine data, may have data, combine data, properties, function, capacities. Most of the time functions is capacities. The function is a capacity. But what is the data? The data is a property. So you may have, when you are thinking data, properties, functions, capacities. Nowadays A class defines